It's time for Paper Talk with Manchester United, our focus after beating Leicester. And joining us this morning is Adam Stott from the United Stand. Adam, great to see you. Good morning. I know it's a very good morning for you right now. We're going to start with Manchester United and the back page of the Mirror that says unstoppable after another 2 goals from Marcus Rashford and another win. Right, and they also reference Erik ten Hag's comments about not being distracted by a potential takeover of the club. How important is it that they continue to let their football do the talking?
Yeah, good morning, Tom. It is vital for Ten Hag. I think he was talking with Sky Sports the other day. I think there was an interview earlier in the week where he was talking about how important it is that he focuses solely on what's happening on the pitch right now. He is aware of what's going on off the pitch, obviously, but his main focus is on the pitch, and that's coming through in how Manchester United are playing right now. There's an air of confidence in the fan base. There's expectation levels have gone through the roof now, and Manchester United fans, the ones that I speak to pretty much every single week, are blown away by what Ten Hag has done and how he's turned this football club around. I think it is realistic to say that Manchester United now are in the title race. We've been laughed off. It's been joked off that surely Manchester United can't be realistic when they start talking about being in this title race. But 5 points off the top, heading into the last week of February, I think you have to look at what's happening. I mean, you take the 2 games at the start of the season against Brentford and Brighton out of the equation, and United are top of the league. That's how much. That's the impact that Ten Hag has had. He's adapted to that poor start in the league this season, and statistically, after the World Cup, we are the best team in Europe, and we have the best player in Europe in Marcus Rashford right now, who is absolutely firing on all cylinders and looks like he's on a one-man band to take Manchester United to trophies again this season. It is exciting times for all of the Manchester United fan base, and I think a lot of people outside are looking in, going, there is a serious contender here for major trophies, including the Premier League, Tom.
But Erik ten Hag won't say this publicly, that Manchester United are in the title race. Do you think that behind the scenes he is really gearing his players up for a title challenge?
100%. You look at, like I said, then the form and the way the team is playing. He's dealt with so much this season already. You just look at the stats right now. Manchester United are 4th best attack in the league right now. And that's having dealt with the issues of Cristiano Ronaldo this season. Obviously, we've had the Jadon Sancho issue, which he's now dealt with, and Sancho's come back firing. We've lost him for a couple of months. Anthony Martial has been out for most of the season. For Ten Hag to deal with all of this and the squad come together as it is, we obviously loaned in Wout Weghorst from Burnley. Some fans were calling that wasn't a Manchester United type of transfer. It's not the way that Manchester United do things. Should United be bringing in a player from the lower leagues to Manchester United to actually help us through our season? There's been a lot of criticism coming Ten Hag's way and how he's approached the transfer market and the players that he's brought in. There's been a lot of scrutiny, but this squad is right behind Ten Hag, and you can see it with results and how we're performing on the pitch right now. It doesn't seem to matter who is in front of us. The message from Ten Hag is clear with every player that starts games, the players that come on off the bench, and you can see that there is a confidence within this team right now, and it's not just the new players that he's brought in and added to the squad. It's the players from last season that we thought were finished at Manchester United. There were Aaron Wan-Bissakas, the Marcus Rashfords, like we just said, 16 goals in 16 games with 5 assists. It's remarkable, the turnaround in a lot of these players in this squad. And Tom, you're dead right. I think that message is coming across to all Manchester United players, and the fans can see it as well.
So with Rashford then, how important is it that you get him tied down to a new contract ASAP?
Ten Hag was speaking with Sky Sports on that and saying that is top priority right now. You cannot let Marcus Rashford run this contract down. It has to be priority number 1. He is the best forward in world football right now. Statistically, that tells you everything. And I think deep down there will be talks going on right now with Marcus Rashford, and Ten Hag he's talked about his importance, his role in this team, and how he was looking forward to working with Marcus Rashford as soon as he's seen him in a couple of training sessions from the start of the season. I am confident that Marcus Rashford will be. he'd probably be tied down to a very lucrative deal, but does he not deserve that in the performance that he's put out on the pitch right now? I think he is Ten Hag's #1 man.
Yeah, it would appear so. Big week on and off the pitch, of course, for Manchester United. Now, I want to look ahead to there's Barcelona on Thursday, and then there's Newcastle in the League Cup final on Saturday. Now, you want to win every game, obviously, but you don't really want to be in the Europa League. Manchester United want to be in the Champions League. So is Sunday's game, lifting that trophy, more important than Thursday's against Barcelona?
The impossible question, Tom. I would say, Manchester United fans, Barcelona at home in Europe under the floodlights at Old Trafford. It's a game you cannot ignore the importance of that, I think, because the first leg last week in the Nou Camp, I thought, stamped Manchester United straight back up there at the high table of European football. This is the best team in Spain right now, miles ahead of the European champions, Real Madrid. So I do believe that that was an important moment for Manchester United and how we competed at the Nou Camp. I think if you asked every United fan right now, they want to lift the trophy. But I'll echo what Erik Ten Hag said. It's taking it game by game. The importance of the trophy is there for everyone. It is massive for Manchester United fans that we do end up this season with a piece of silverware. But we ain't going to ignore what is Thursday night and the importance of that as well. For us to take down Barcelona, like I said, the best team in La Liga right now, flying in that division, that will be massive for the confidence going into the final on Sunday. So I think just as important each game, and will be interesting how he mixes up the squad, Tom, because obviously we have got a few players coming back now. We've been a bit threadbare squad depth-wise recently, so I think it's going to be interesting to see who starts against Barcelona, and then I think we'll get the answer to the question how important Sunday is.
Right, well, The Guardian decided to focus on the potential takeover at the club, and the Manchester United Supporters Trust have joined those voicing concerns about a potential Qatar takeover on human rights and LGBTQ plus grounds. OK, so, Adam, not everybody is welcoming this potential takeover for those reasons. One, how important is it that these concerns are heard and addressed, but also could this be a potential barrier to this going through?
It could be. The concerns do need addressing. Must have echoed the supporters group Rainbow Devils in terms of human rights. Obviously, it's very important of any bidder coming in for Manchester United that this is all laid out and cleared before anything moves forward. Must have laid out the most important things, the priorities that any bidder coming in to take over Manchester United needs to put first. And obviously human rights, the LGBTQ plus community, women's rights, obviously it's outlawed for same-sex marriage in Qatar. These concerns are there, and I think they were there within the World Cup when that was being played out in November. So it could be a stumbling block. I think every single bid and every single possible ownership model coming into Manchester United is going to get scrutinised. Obviously, the fan base here at Manchester United have not been happy with the Glazer ownership. We've had problems there. Obviously, now we're opening up a new door in terms of issues that could possibly be brought to Manchester United. And I think it is vitally important that is ironed out and sorted before any takeover. But the intentions need to be made clear. Obviously, it's the early stages of the bidding process, and everyone is just laying out their plans for Manchester United and their bids and the details of it. But it has to be priority number one. Obviously, the human rights issues and everything that's been spoken about over the last few months over world football, not just what's happening in the World Cup and Manchester United right now. It has to be the forefront of anything, and could be something that would scupper any possible deal. It's a serious matter.
And it's not the only concern, isn't it? Because the Qatari sports investment, they've got the ownership of Paris Saint-Germain, so there's talk of a conflict of interest there. But then if you look at the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid, he owns Nice, so there's sporting integrity argument there as well. As a group of fans, is there a clear favourite, a clear one that you would prefer to take over at this stage?
I don't think there is a clear favourite in terms of who Manchester United fans want to take over the club. There is the nostalgia side of Manchester United, I think it comes down, Tom, to a generational fan base. I think the voting on this, there's been a few polls that have gone up online. I think The Athletic did one, which showed that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid with M.U.S.T was the most popular. Local Manchester businessman, billionaire. It's a love story in terms of a Manchester man building up his business, then taking over Manchester United. But then, like you said there, he obviously has an ownership in Nice as well. Like we talked about the Qatari bids, apparently that is nothing to do with the same Qatari model that he's running PSG right now. But the fan base is, I would say, split right down the middle. I don't think there's going to be one particular ownership model coming into Manchester United which is going to have the majority vote. There's going to be controversy with any bid that comes in for Manchester United. I think it's going to have its doubters no matter who comes in. And right now it's a case of what is best for the club. And it's very important, like we just spoke about a minute ago, that the plans are laid out and it is very clear that there is a fan involvement within any ownership model, and it is clear within the human rights and everything in terms of UEFA's regulations and what criteria is needed to be met there as well. So I think it's clarity more than anything. It's what the plan is by this ownership model, and going forward, is it for the better of Manchester United? Is it football related rather than business? There's a lot to discuss yet, and there isn't going to be one model which is favourable to any. There's always going to be doubters on both sides.
Adam, great stuff this morning. Thank you.
No problem at all, Tom.